Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of The Elephant on Adult Swim. And I was like, alright, let's kind of see what goes on with this. And I actually really enjoyed it. Premise was like, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and they're handled by different animators. And the thing is, there's certain people that oversee the continuity and flow, but they didn't know what was kind of going on for the whole thing. It had creators of like Pendleton Ward, Patrick McHale, Ian Jones-Quartey, and Rebecca Sugar. And it was premiered on December 19th, and it streamed next day on HBO Max. I actually really enjoyed this. I wasn't expecting much coming out of it, but I think that this was handled pretty well. We get a nice coherent beginning, middle, and end, and in different kind of animation styles exploring different kind of themes. So, the first bit, we see this weird kind of machine thing going, and these things kind of keeping it all in check and everything before a certain mishap happens, and Eye kind of goes down and morphs into this kind of like person. Pretty much having issues kind of like trying to figure out what's kind of going on. This one thing saying that it's evil, shooting off the arm, and they then kind of grab it with them and kind of go off as they're rescued by like a cat that's like an agent of the universe. But the cat is like a disguise and it's actually a kind of clown. It's like, oh, you look pretty cool. As the arm is kind of turning into this kind of frog thing. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, let me take you to the place where I kind of like keep some cool ass shit as they're still dodging stuff of what's going on of the people trying to stop them from like existing. They kind of get down there and they're like going through some interesting kind of like little places, and it's like, yeah, this is just magical kind of stuff, which is just mundane stuff. It's like, oh, that's kind of an interesting kind of take. As this one thing has the ability to send a message throughout all the different kind of places of where you exist multiverse wise, as things kind of go nuts and they kind of get killed by the thing that's kind of like chasing them. So then we get into the middle portion where we see that they're in a different kind of form with this kind of music button, as they're like, oh, okay, so they're pretty much used as this party kind of thing, but they're kind of more introspective and trying to figure out what's more with them, as this voice is telling them to stop digging deeper and kind of looking into things, and they don't listen. They're like, oh, okay, and this starts to kind of cause chaos because all the people want them to just be this music button thing and for them to rave and party and do all this kind of crazy ass shit. However, they then rip off the music button and start changing into a different kind of form. And the thing is, they wake up with two kind of people that are kind of their friends, and they do help them out throughout this kind of excursion. And they're like, oh shit, what the fuck's kind of going on? As they get sucked up into a different kind of form that goes kind of more anime style. To this dude's like, what the fuck, can I kind of like go to the next... Well, they first go to this little kid. It's like, can you wish me to be dead? Because this continuously reincarnation thing is fucking with this person. And they're kind of like, just wish me for me to be... Like, you wish for ice cream cone? That's like, alright, fine. Now wish for me to be dead, please. It's like, oh shit. And of course the person's like, oh fuck. And they kill him, and then they get put into the kind of anime kind of body one. And it's like a cobbled together kind of TV thing. It's like, oh yeah, I thought we watched TV like through a mirror or something. That sounds really fucking stupid. But they kind of relay their whole kind of things like, wow, that's fucked up and nuts. And that sometimes you just kind of be there for other people. Like you're like they're trying to figure out why they keep getting reincarnated and into this kind of fucked up cycle. And I kind of like them kind of explaining that and kind of exploring that of like, well, maybe sometimes it's not specifically why you're there. Maybe it's just that you kind of are there for a certain kind of thing, even though it doesn't become readily apparent, even though you think that you're not there for any kind of reason whatsoever, that you just want to not exist. And of course has this kind of kill button and everything, and they're thinking about like flicking it and everything to just be done with this, because they also don't like the form. However, their creator pretty much gets hit and put into the hospital. I thought he was going to be dead, but we see that they're okay, and that they were worried about the person and kind of gave them more of a purpose and a reason to live. And they accidentally hit their kill switch button, but it doesn't work. It's like, holy shit. We do see these weird kind of things doing something with an elephant, and then we kind of go back to them and then kind of end out. Wow, it doesn't seem like I thought it would take me kind of longer to kind of like explain it, but I do like them kind of like all of the different styles flowed pretty well together. It wasn't like really jarring, but yet you still kind of had your distinct kind of flavors for each one. And this is the kind of stuff that I would like from Adult Swim and what they're attempting to do. Now, even though a good amount of the stuff like Fooly Cooley, like this I would hold up as a high watermark good example here. Fooly Cooley I would put as like the mid. I do like them trying to play around with the Fooly Cooley concept, but most of the time they played it a little bit more safe and tried to get that Fooly Cooley stuff rather than kind of explore what Fooly Cooley kind of meant. I think Don to Don's a better examination and natural kind of extension of Fooly Cooley than what we've gotten from there, which is kind of odd. And then, like, whatever the fuck happened with Uzumaki. Now, there's a lot more at play because there's a lot different kind of things. This, I think, was more kind of in-house for Adult Swim, which gives them a far greater degree of control and everything. Whereas also Fooly Cooley was kind of, like, spread out as well, working with different kind of Japanese animation studios as well. Whereas Uzumaki is, like, that also had other kind of stuff. So I'm not squarely putting that on Adult Swim. The thing is, whenever you're doing kind of creative endeavors and stuff like this, there are going to be misses. Just as long as that doesn't kill the shit. You know what I mean? Like, take the chances and be like, okay, this failed. Why did it fail? And examine that and try and understand that for, like, Uzumaki, there's, like, I don't know exactly what was going on. Now, I'm not really that partial to Junji Ito anyway, so it's like, eh. But for Junji Ito fans, you deserve something good. It's kind of like, oh, no, I'm a fan of DC as well, but I wasn't really a fan of the Snyderverse. It's like, you're a fan of it? Cool, fine. I'm just not into it. But that was because I didn't like the vision and how the execution was kind of going down with it. You know, there's like technical aspects as well. It's like, oh, fuck. But here, that wasn't really the case. Like, they weren't given complete things of what was kind of going on, and it still worked and flowed together for a coherent story of, like, a life, death, and rebirth of what's kind of going on and examining that kind of stuff with reincarnation. Because at first, when you're thinking of life and death, maybe when you're kind of like younger, you're like, okay, reincarnation sounds pretty good. Maybe also towards the end of life, but then you're like, you're getting through and living life, and if you haven't had that good of a life, it's like, okay, wouldn't that be a concept of hell if you go through reincarnating and keep getting fucked over and over and over again? That's this kind of scary part which would stick into your mind, which also is something that kind of works out in the Wheel of Time as well. As you're like, oh god, is that a good thing, reincarnation? Or is that some kind of fucked up system that's just like to fuck you over? It's interesting to think about those kind of concepts, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. Now, if anything, the whole elephant aspect, why it's called the elephant, isn't really that clear. There is a thing with an elephant, but I don't know what the fuck it means or what's kind of going on with it and what those kind of creature things are. So, help. If anybody's got any ideas or a kind of deeper kind of thing on that, let me know. I don't think it's a negative that it's called the elephant. I honestly, after looking at this, would have probably had a hard time trying to title this fucking thing as well. So, there are probably other kind of things you could have gone for, but the only kind of real negative is that the title doesn't really explain what's kind of going on or give you an idea of what's going on. So I wouldn't fault you for, like, I don't know about this. Voice direction's nice, characters are interesting and kind of interwoven. We follow the main character mainly throughout, as they're pretty much the centerpiece of the reincarnation kind of thing. But mainly at the end, we get it kind of amps up as we see with the other characters. The universe agent really doesn't get much, but we don't really sit with them for too long. We then sit with the kind of party buddies, and that works pretty well as they're kind of helping the music button, trying to figure out themselves and understand themselves, as they then be like, fuck this. And then, of course, TV Box one as they're talking with the creator of this form and trying to see what's kind of going on there and trying to understand their life and like the reincarnation, everything like that. So I would definitely recommend this to people that are into animation and into those kind of animators as well. If you're not, and you're not into the kind of broad concepts of what's kind of going on here, I don't blame you for that. If you're like just looking at it, what the fuck? There's no elephants in it. Why the fuck would I watch it? I don't blame you for that. You're like, okay, there is an elephant, but it's a really weird fucking thing, and you're like, all right. So I liked it and enjoyed it. I liked the different animation styles and the uses of color and kind of changing up everything and the flows and dynamics of everything. But it's really, this one's very more of a kind of subjective thing, and if it hits for you right, I think you'll enjoy it. If it's even a little bit off, you'll just be like, I feel like I wasted my time. And I don't think you would be incorrect in that. It's a very weird one. So those are my opinions on whatever this is. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.